Should you get an old Brother laser printer like this one over here, or the newer version? This one is the HL2460DW. At the time of recording this video, this printer is only a few months old on the market, while this one is almost 10 years old. So I'll try to answer the question. If you have an old one, is it worthy to upgrade to a newer one? Or if you do not have any Brother laser printer, should you get a used one on Marketplace or Craigslist, or to go buy a brand new one? Because both of these are looking the same, so they should be similar, right? Well, let me point out the similarities and then we'll talk about the differences. And by the way, when I talk about an older Brother laser printer, this one is the L2360DW, but they made in the last 15 years at least 20 different models that are looking similar. So it's very hard to put a name on the old model since there's so many of them. Size-wise, they're exactly the same, with almost the same design. Sure, there's some little things, like over here the newer one has a bigger fan on the side, this is a smaller one on the older one, but overall they all have their paper tray in the front, a small manual feeder right over here. And both of these have this very small and old style looking control panel. You see, this is the old one, and on the new one, it's exactly the same buttons with the exactly small screen. That is a bit hard to use, I'll be honest. If we turn them around, although over here on the old one, we can see that it has a non-removable power cord, while the newer one, you can actually remove it. If you expect to move around your printer, having a removable power cord could be better, I guess. Port-wise, they have the same port. We have an Ethernet port there, and under it we have a USB port. On the newer one, same thing. I guess they use the same exact component. One thing you need to check when you buy a Brother printer is the name. The last digits or numbers or letters of this model name indicates if this printer is able to duplex printing, which means printing on both sides of the page. And the W means if it has the wireless features or not, because Brother is selling laser printer without any Wi-Fi or wireless feature, and you'll need to use the USB cable. So if your model does not have D, it means it's not able to print on both sides of the page. If it doesn't have a W, it does not have Wi-Fi. So physically, these were the differences. Now, over the time, Brother added some features on the newer model. Even though you cannot see it inside, it has been upgraded. For example, this newer model is able to connect to your Wi-Fi 5 GHz network. The older one here is only 2.4 GHz, which means that it's great if your Wi-Fi router is far away, but if your router is closer, well, the 5 GHz network compatibility with the newer one, the printer will be able to receive your document in a much quicker way on the newer ones. And by the way, the new one is also compatible with the 2.4 GHz network if you prefer doing this way. Another difference is depending on which Brother older model you have, the print resolution has increased with the newer one. You may not notice the difference, but this one is able to print at 1200 by 1200 dpi, while the older one over here is only able to print at 600 dpi, which I guess it's double, but if you're printing text, you won't notice any difference. It's mostly if you print graphics or some kind of pictures, but I don't think people buy these printers to print pictures. Finally, another thing that Brother upgraded is the print speed. On this newer model, it's able to print at 36 pages per minute, while this older one, it's only able to print at 32 pages per minute, and older models are even slower than this one. Not a big deal, but if you're a teacher or have a small business and time is very important for you, I guess the newer one has an edge on this aspect. And this is probably due because the newer models have 128 megabytes of internal memory, while the older one has a 32 megabytes internal memory. So when you're sending your large documents, the newer one is able to stock them in its memory much easier, and yeah, I guess it helps the process. So if this one you can get it on the used market for about 40 bucks, 50 bucks, is it worth spending $100 more for the newer one? Well, in my opinion, I don't think so for most people, and especially because of one specific reason. You see, although they look exactly similar, and if I take out the toner of each of them, they almost look the same here. Well, they're not interchangeable. This older Brother printer takes the TN660 or 630, while this newer one takes the Brother TN830. Well, that's not a big deal. Well, it is. If you intend to buy aftermarket toner cartridges, like myself, this is not an original Brother one. The one made for the older Brother printers are often a lot cheaper. So I'll put a screenshot comparing the prices of aftermarket ink. You can see there's a huge difference between the one made for older models and the one made for this newer models. I suspect this is because since this newer model is only a few months old, the prices didn't have time to come down. It's still very new, and the companies are trying to cash on the new buyers. So to conclude this short video, should you get the old one or the new one? Well, it really depends who you are. If you have a small business, I think you should go with the new one. It will be a tax write-off, which with the older one, if you're buying cash on marketplace, it will be hard since you won't have any receipt, anything to show. So this could be a better thing if you have a small business. But if you intend to use it at home mostly, and print speed is not a factor in your decision, I think you should check out the older versions, since they'll be much cheaper to buy, much cheaper to purchase ink for them, and at the end of the day they're very reliable. This one, it's almost 10 years old and it's still working perfectly. And by the way, I'll put links in the description if you want to get a newer version from Amazon. Check it out. It's also supporting my channel at the same time. When buying a used one, the only things you need to check is, first of all, again, check the name if it has D for duplex printing, and I think it's a worthy feature to have, and if it has a W to know for sure that it's compatible with Wi-Fi. And even if this one is 10 years old, I can still connect it to my Brother app on my iPhone and print this way, since Brother is making this printer compatible with AirPrint, even the older one. That's really nice. The second thing you need to check is actually, if you can, try connecting with your phone or your computer to your printer before buying it. Sometimes they may have some Wi-Fi issues that has developed over time, and if you're not able, try resetting it. This specific printer, I don't know why, but a month or two ago refused to connect to my Mac computer, and my Mac computer was not able to send anything to get printed. That was a bit weird, but simply by making a Wi-Fi reset, and I have a video how to do it on my channel, well, I fixed the problem. I was able to reconnect it and it worked since then. So this is something to keep in mind. Another thing, if you're buying an older one, you can check how many pages this printer has printed in its own lifetime. And this is a good indicator if this has been abused or if it only has been used lightly. So to do so, you just need to press the back button, then you see machine info, press OK. Then with these arrows, navigate, page count, press OK, and you will get the number. So this is it. I hope this video was helpful. If so, again, check the Amazon affiliate links in the description down below if you want to get toner for your Brother printer or some paper or maybe a brand new printer. Subscribe, like, comment down below if you have a different opinion than me. It's always interesting to read you, and I'll see you in the next video.